I'm gonna chalk my wheels. I got my markers / clearance light, my left and right turn signal, my 4-way flasher, my nighttime running light. They're all properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. They working properly and they amber in color. Both of my headlights properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The lens is not clouded over. They're white or clear in color. And they're working properly on the running light working properly. And my high and low beams are working properly. I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna look underneath my truck and check for any low-hanging line wires or hoses and for any puddles or leaks of any fluid. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna check the sitting level of my truck. Make sure it's not leaning from one side to another, indicating a suspension problem, a low tire problem, or a brake problem. I'm gonna open my hood with 3 points of contact. I'm gonna walk around to my passenger side. I'm gonna do a general overview on my line wires and hoses. My hoses are properly mounted secured, no abrasion, bulges, or cuts, and they're not leaking. My wires properly mounted secured, not cut, torn, or frayed. My alternator properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's belt driven. The belt is properly mounted secured, not cut, torn, or frayed, and when pushed in the middle, it should have no more than 3/4 inch of play. I'm gonna walk around to my driver's side. My cooler reservoir properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's not leaking and it's filled to manufacturer specification. It have a cap. My cap is properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. My water pump properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's not leaking and it's belt driven. My belt is properly mounted secured, not cut, torn, or frayed, and when pushed in the middle, it shouldn't have no more than 3/4 inch of play. I'm gonna do a general overview of all my line wires and hoses. My hoses are properly mounted secured, no abrasion, bulges, or cuts, and they're not leaking. All my wires properly mounted secured, not cut, torn, or frayed. Behind my firewall, I have my air compressor pump and my power steering pump. Both is properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. They're not leaking and they're gear driven. My oil dipstick and oil fill cap. They're both properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. They're not leaking. Both caps is present and on tight. To check, I will pull my dipstick out, wipe it off, insert it back in, pull it back out, and make sure it's between add and fill. And they're both filled to manufacturer specification. My power steer reservoir, properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's not leaking, and it's filled to manufacturer specification. Both caps is present and on tight, and they're not leaking. My frame, properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and there's no illegal welds on my frame. My front and rear spring hanger. They're both properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's properly mounted secured to my frame. It's properly mounted secured to my frame. It's holding my leaf spring. My leaf springs are properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's not shifted, and if there's a crack, it shouldn't be no more than a 1/2 inch of crack. Well, inch of crack. My U-bolts, both of them, properly mounted secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's holding my leaf spring down to the axle. My shock absorber, Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's not leaking. It have bushing, top and bottom bushings, and both bushings are properly mounted, secured, and now they're not dry rotted. My steering shaft, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. Shouldn't have no more than 10 degree of play. It's connected to my gearbox by my U-joints. My U-joints are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. They're properly greased and no debris in the inside of my U-joints. My gearbox, properly mounted, secured to the frame, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and it's not leaking. My pivot arm, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and it's connected to my drag link by a castle nut and cotter pin. My drag link, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's connected to my upper control arm by a castle nut and cotter pin. My upper control arm is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts is present and on tight. My tire rod is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's connected to my lower control arm by a castle nut and cotter pin. My lower control arm is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. My brake hose, properly mounted, secured, no abrasion, bolts are cut, and it's not leaking. My ABS wire, properly mounted, secured, not cut, torn, or frayed. My brake chamber, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's not leaking. It has top and bottom clamps. The clamps are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts is present and on tight. My push rod and slack adjuster, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight. It's connected by my pins and keepers are clevis pin and Carter key. And with the brake release, I shouldn't have no more than 1 inch of play. Inside my tire, I have my brake pads and brake linings. They're both properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no grease or debris on my pads. My pad is at least a 1/4 inch thickness, and it sits inside my brake drum. My brake drum is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and there's no leaking welds on my brake drum. My tire, inner, outer, face is properly mounted, secured. No abrasion, bolts, or cuts are not ripped. It's evenly worn, new or virgin tire, at least 4 seconds of tread depth. It's not leaking, and it's at least 100 PSI, and it's seated and beaded to my rim. My rim is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds on my rims. It's held down by my lug nuts. My lug nuts is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All are present and on tight. There's no signs of metal shavings or rust trails indicating looseness. My hub oil seal is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present and on tight, and it's not leaking. To check, you'll pop that cap off, put your finger in there, and make sure it fills the manufacturer specification. My tire valve stem is properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not leaking. The cap is present and on tight. If it wasn't, you'll report it on your DVIR. This includes my car A.